You alright guys, how's it going? It's David Clayton from KZR Racing once again, and welcome back to my F1 Manager 22 Career Mode Season 2 for round number 7 today at the Monaco Grand Prix. If you guys did miss the last episode, do feel free to check out my channel. The playlist will be there, along with all the other episodes beforehand. Not a lot to do at the moment. We've got the designs for the front and rear wing due to be completed, so we will just go through them in a second. Just a few emails to that. The memorabilia room has been done, along with exceeding expectations and that. Well, I haven't been. Gasly has. If you didn't see the last race, Gasly was doing his usual madness. Unfortunately, a mistake on my part ruined it, but he still finished best of the rest ahead of one of the Mercs. So, not too bad of a... Not too bad of a race, to be honest. We did score points with both drivers, actually. Vettel, despite locking up, managed to take advantage of other people making late second stops to get up into P10. So now we have the front wing design complete. So let us start by manufacturing one of those. So we're going to go to emergency and make 4 of them. And confirm that because I want them done immediately. So now that's the second one. So we're going to install on car 1 and car 2 for the front wing, and now immediately after we have the rear wing, one after the other. So let us have a look. Board confidence check-in, everything's doing fine there. Financial report was still okay. So now we're slowly starting to drop back now because everyone else is upgrading a lot faster than we are, unfortunately. But we're still okay at the moment with how Gasly is. But this is not taking into account the... That's not taking into account the fact we just made some new parts. So let's get the rear wing done. Onto emergency, make 4 of these. Confirm. So now rear wing, change to number 3. We just got the spares that we need for the time being, but if after Monaco we'll make some more for the front and rear. So with those designs complete, I will need to have a look at the, whoops, I went too far, calendar. Okay, so that's all done. So we got 2 races, and then after the Canadian Grand Prix is when the aerodynamic period reopens again. And then the underfloor research for next year will actually be completed just before the British Grand Prix. So that'll work out. That'll work out just about right. So let's just have a look at the drivers. And so no development points for Verstappen or Vettel or Gasly. I'm doing it again, but we have got one for Jack Doohan. Up his smoothness another point. And then for the staff, no development points there at the moment, so we will, everything seems to be in order, so let us skip ahead eventually. There we go. So we have important email, which is the race prep. Performance target review, finishing position. We got 2 streaks going on at the moment, so this is going to be a fair bit. Reach Q3. I'm going to put, what's the qualifying position? 14th. And Q2. Yeah, that's, I'm pretty certain that we can do both of these, so we'll put them on. And then finishing position 14th. Yeah, we can do that as well. So I'm pretty certain we can do all of that for Monaco. So, yep, that's all set up. So let's go through to the practice screen for the Monaco Grand Prix. Okay, immediately for Monaco, we have heavy rain in free practice 1, so or 2, whichever the case is. But no trickery here. I'm not going to swap out doing for either of our guys in this session, so we will do what we normally do and simulate this first session. And Gasly's done alright, actually. Gasly's in P5. Vettel, a little bit lackluster in P15. With 35 and 31 on the setup confidence, so we've got a bit of setup work to do. I won't bore you with the schematics on this one going through. I will skip through straight to the end of practice 2, providing anything doesn't happen. And we'll see how things go. Right, the end of the practice session. Don't read too much into what you see on the screen because it rained near the start of the session. We're getting there on setup confidence. 80 for Sebastian, 72 for Pierre. I did notice that I forgot from the last episode. I forgot to change a few parts, so I need to do that now before I do anything else. So everything's alright on Sebastian's side of things, but for Pierre, there it is, the gearbox. Right, that's annoying, but we're going to have to put this one in. Actually, you know what? It is practice, so we'll just stick this one in, just for practice, and then we'll swap it over until we'll swap it over onto the good gearbox for the race. But for now, I'm going to go through the setups, and then I'll see you guys if nothing happens after practice 3. Right, end of a pretty successful practice 3, actually. I managed to get Sebastian on a flyer to see what he could do. Gasly, I had to do a little bit of tweaking on his second run in practice 3, but he still managed to get there on just doing his reconnaissance runs for the setups. So that's a pretty good sign for his race pace. But yeah, 96 for Sebastian, 91 for Pierre. Can't really complain about that. So everything is looking good. While I've got it in my head, we're going to swap this gearbox out into the new one. So now Pierre, I know for a fact, is okay on that front. And I am also certain that, yeah, Sebastian's okay as well. So yep, we'll go through to the end of qualifying and see how we stand for Monaco. Right, we just got to the end of Q2. I thought I'd intervene here because a couple of things have happened. We got both cars through into Q3 for the second time, actually. Gasly still has a full 10th edge over Sebastian, but Sebastian's doing a lot better now. But Carlos Sainz has been knocked out in Q2, which is a big surprise. A couple of drivers, Sebastian included, on their first runs, got held up in some way, shape or form, and it dropped them to like 2 seconds off the pole time. But yes, for whatever reason, the Sainz couldn't improve on that. So here we are. We got, even if Sainz did get through, it would have only knocked out Zhou and left us still in the top 10 with both cars. So we'll go through to the end of Q3, the end of the final run, and see where both guys will be for tomorrow's race. Right, coming up to the end of the laps now. Both guys are together on track. So at the moment, Sebastian is green in both sectors. Gasly's only green in the second sector, but they're going to cross the line together. Sebastian's going to give Gasly the tow down the straight, so let's see where they go. Sebastian will go up to P6. Gasly, however, will stay where he is in P4, unfortunately. So, couldn't quite crack that top 3 again with Gasly, but that's the pace of the top 3, as you can see. There it is. Max Verstappen will have pole for the Monaco Grand Prix just ahead of Charles Leclerc, the home favourite. Perez will take 3rd place, and then 7/10 back. Gasly ahead of Bottas, Hamilton, Vettel, getting in between the Mercs with Russell 8th, Zhou 9th, and Alonso in 10th. So, good position for some double points in the race. We'll have to go through the strategy, the tyre strategy, to see where we stand. So, we can go soft to hards or medium to hards. I don't think we have a fresh set of soft tyres though, so let's... What is this one saying? Yeah, that's not feasible. So it's going to be the medium to hard stint then, from the looks of it. So no fancy trickery here. We're just going to put them onto the number 2 strategy, the B strategy. We still have a semi-decent set of soft tyres at like 91% warm for both drivers, so if a safety car does come out, we can strap those on if need be. But for now, everything's looking good. We got Gasly in P4 and Sebastian P7, so we're looking pretty good for the race. We're going to be a little bit ballsy with the fuel. We're going to fill them all the way up, and then we're going to put both men on pushing and get deploy at the start of the race. Actually, with Sebastian, we'll do that at the start. We'll get them on full deploy. So fuel, brim them up, so they can literally just push the whole race on deploy. So we'll do that for the start. So hopefully some good double points on the cards this time, hopefully. So let's go to the grid for the Monaco Grand Prix.
It's sunny and bright as the drivers line up on the grid. And there we have Pierre Gasly. Not as close to the front as they might have wished for, but we know the race order can change a lot during those first few corners. And for the second driver, it's Sebastian Vettel. With a top 10 position on the grid, this race could really go either way for them. The race start is mere seconds away. We're here and the streets are abuzz at the Monaco Grand Prix.
And 5 red lights, and away we go. So now Gasly, Gasly's had a shocker of a start, and he's already dropped behind Bottas. Oh, that's not what we needed. But Vettel has actually gotten ahead of Hamilton. So both guys are together, and oh no, Gasly's still... Vettel has still got Hamilton with him, and Hamilton is going to fight this, and he is back up ahead of Sebastian, unfortunately. So back to neutral on both guys. Vettel did have that go, but I think Hamilton, Hamilton is on soft tyres. Again, another mix-up in the tyre strategy with all the drivers. We've got Leclerc and Verstappen are going aggressive on the soft tyres. Then you've got Perez, Bottas, Gasly and Vettel on the mediums. Hamilton's on the softs, Russell's on the mediums, so Mercedes have split their strategy. As now Hamilton is all over the back of Gasly right now. Understandable. The Mercedes is still technically a better car than us, and we're on the slower tyre. Unfortunately, Bottas is slowly getting away from us as well already. So that's not ideal in this opening stage of the race. I kind of need Gasly to try and stick with the with the Alfa Romeo, but they're going to be on pushing for the fuel all day. So probably put a little bit too much fuel in if I'm being 100% honest, but it is going to be a bit of a learning process, still a learning process to be honest, because normally on the normal circuits you're like close to the fuel limit, but Monaco, I didn't realise we had that much fuel to spare. So hopefully, if the tyre wear kicks in for Bottas, because he's not pulling away massively from us, so if I yeah, so Gasly's not dropping too far away, so if I can just boost Gasly a little bit, just to keep him within range. Neutral through the corner, then up the hill, back on deploy again. And back to neutral again. So just trying to I'm just playing around with the ERS as well, because sometimes I have found that in certain places, if you just like give them a boost of deploy, that can make a big difference on certain areas of the circuits, especially at Monaco, where we're not flat out the whole time. So back down to neutral as we go into the brake zone, and then deploy out of the corner again. The fortunate thing for me is that Bottas... Oh, no, Gasly. Come on, Gasly. Get back in DRS. Get back in DRS. Come on. I need you back in DRS, Gasly. Come on. We should be in range. There we go. So now we'll go up to deploy, because the good thing is Bottas is already out of... Bottas is nowhere near range of Perez, so I can just use Bottas as a means to pull Gasly along. And that will also give us a bit of protection from Hamilton. As unfortunately, I just noticed in the background, Vettel has been overtaken by Zhou. I'm not too fussed about the early stages, though. I'm pretty certain Zhou went down the inside at Saint-Avold. Yeah, there you go. So I'm not too fussed about that. Zhou is on the soft tyres, so he's going to pit early and come out in a whole load of traffic. So I'm kind of okay with Vettel to just stick with Zhou, like Gasly is sticking with Bottas, and just let them run their, just let them do their thing behind these guys and get pulled along with the DRS. So we'll skip away and we'll come back a bit later and see how things are progressing. Well, just cutting back on lap 15. Unfortunately, Vettel has dropped another place to Russell, and Zhou managed to pull away at quite a drastic pace somehow. But then again, that is the power of the soft tyres. Vettel's got a little bit more luck staying with Russell, because Russell's on the mediums along with us. It's just Vettel just doesn't seem to have the outright pace that Russell does, unfortunately. Meanwhile, Gasly still holding his own. He's still stuck within DRS of Bottas. And they've both pulled away a little bit from Hamilton. So I don't know if Hamilton's tyres are, 58%. They're slowly starting to go away from him. So the same will happen to Zhou as well. The same will happen to Zhou, and that will bring that should bring Vettel back into it a little bit. I'm not too fussed about Magnussen, Alonso. Magnussen's actually held on to his tyres pretty well. That's interesting. The Haas is actually really good on its tyres. It's only 2% less than us. So that's going to be interesting for later on. Not too fussed about Alonso. Sainz, meanwhile, has been just stuck staring at the back of all these guys. And then you got this sort of pat back here being held up by Lando Norris, who started on the hard tyres and have like dropped out of contention massively. I don't know why McLaren haven't let Ricciardo through at least have a crack at Ocon, because this is just ruining their race altogether. And Hulkenberg's sitting at the back of this field, and then, as you can see, the Williams still in their own little world, occupying the back. So, oh yeah, the tyres have dropped off massively for Hamilton. He's really falling away from Gasly now. You got Vettel still within DRS of Russell. And now Zhou is 2.1 ahead of them. Sorry, he's 5.7 behind Hamilton. But yeah, so far, nothing to report yet. It's all pretty stationary. You got Leclerc and Verstappen up here who've been in a world of their own. They've completely dropped Perez, but then again, Perez is on the mediums as opposed to these two guys on the softs, so they won't be their stop won't be too far away. But yeah, at the moment it's still pretty stationary. So you got the lead group, Perez all by his lonesome, and then you got our group back here. Gasly's dropped away a little bit from Bottas, but he'll pull that back in a minute. So in the DRS zone, Hamilton back here, and then Russell is closed up to 1.8 now to show ahead of him, and that's pulling this entire group with him. Vettel will now close up with the DRS. So yeah, yeah, as you can see, the soft tyres are so starting to go off for these guys. So that's they're not going to be long for this position soon. Meanwhile, Gasly still holding on to Bottas, who got the jump on him off the start. It's a bit of an unusual one for Gasly. He's usually pretty good at his starts, but that time Bottas just got the better one out of the two. So it shouldn't be too long before the pit stops. Pit stops in 12 laps. So I will keep an eye on Bottas, because I may pull the trigger with him should it come to it. But we'll let the guys carry on for a little bit longer and come back for the pit stops. Right, just coming up to the pit windows for the guys. Verstappen has just pitted, but I did notice on the mini-map is that Perez had caught up to the pair of Verstappen and Leclerc who are fighting, and now Perez is already having a look at the Ferrari. As you can see on the graph, all the soft tyre runners have dropped backwards. Unfortunately for us, Verstappen has just come out right behind us, and Gasly has dropped out of range of Bottas. But I think now's going to be the time, because Gasly's tyre wear is not as good as Sebastian's. So I'm going to bring Gasly in now, get him onto the hard tyres. As you can see, Gasly's got 43% tyre wear, whereas Sebastian's still at 44%, but I know Sebastian can hold his tyres a little better. So as for Gasly, might as well just use up these tyres and just attack on the way in.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Sebastian still just about holding on to the back of Russell. He's going to be coming in the next lap, as Leclerc now comes in. Gasly's now in, along with Leclerc. He's pitted, and Perez continues on. And Verstappen still remains ahead of Leclerc. And they're both on the hard tyres, I believe. Gasly now is on his way out. Russell's only just coming through Sandavot. The last corner up to Sandavot, sorry. And there he goes. So Gasly, Russell's got to come in at some point, but Gasly has gotten a whole pit stop on Leclerc, on Russell, sorry, and his teammate. So That's Russell's got a little bit of a gap to Sebastian, but Sebastian, I think I may have to pull him in early at this rate. He's at 42% tyre wear. And everyone else behind. So, because Sebastian is... says pit window's active, but... yeah, I'm gonna bring him in now. The tyres are really not liking this. So, let's get him in now.
It'll be box to box.
Sebastian, pit lane.
Copy.
So let's see if we can get let's see if we can get Gasly on the move. Russell's going to be a pain hold us up at this moment because I really need to get ahead of Russell in order to catch back up to Bottas. He's poked his nose in. Go on, Pierre. Go on. Up the hill, round Casino Square. And he's done it. He is ahead. Excellent job, Pierre Gasly. Again, another no-nonsense move in a move that you don't normally see it. But it's definitely worked in our favour. We'll watch this again.
Now look at this. It's Pierre
So Gasly goes round up the hill, round the outside of Casino Square, and just manages to get the move done before the mirror boat into the hairpin. So that just shows that we made the right call pitting them early. Those soft medium tyres now are not liking it. So Bottas is now in. So he's quite a ways away. I think Russell has held us up just long enough for that, unfortunately. So unfortunately, Bottas is still going to remain ahead of us. As the tyres go on, yeah, because the Alfa Romeo is right at the end of the pit lane, so he's going to come out clean ahead of us. Here we come. Got attack and deploy up the hill. Oh no, we got ahead of him.
Copy.
We got ahead of him. That's even better. And look at the distance we've gained. Well, that was a shocking exit out the pit lane from Bottas. Okay. Yeah, I'm very happy with what Gasly's done there. I didn't think we were going to get ahead of Bottas, to be honest. I thought Bottas was just going to eke ahead, but that has worked out in our favour. And Russell is just losing time and time and time, sticking out on those medium tyres. Vettel, meanwhile, he's got clear air. He's not being challenged by anything because directly behind is Stroll on a set of medium tyres that he started the race on. He's holding up Sainz, Alonso, Albon, Magnussen. So the people who were threatening Vettel have dropped a ways behind now. So Vettel, he's got a little bit of clear air. He's still quite a ways behind Zhou, 3.5 seconds. I don't know if Vettel will be able to catch up to that, to be honest, because I've got to make sure these tyres last till the end. Alonso and Ocon, they're going to be going on for a little bit longer. They started on these hard tyres, as Russell is now in. He's made his stop and pitted onto the tyres. So here comes Sebastian. Attack, deploy.
So we're happy to push the tyres hard now, push the tyres.
And there's Russell coming out the pit lane. Vettel he's not quite going to get there, unfortunately. We'll keep him on the attack up the hill, see if he can do anything. Nope. Very nearly did it. He very nearly did it. He thought about it. He thought about the same move that Gasly thought about, but whoop, really should almost forgot.
Copy.
Yeah, got a little bit crossed up on the thing. I tried to take him off the tyres, but Russell has unfortunately just stayed ahead of Sebastian. So now,
We're happy to let these tyres cool a bit.
Copy that.
back to where we were before with Sebastian, just behind Russell, staring at the back of him. As Stroller's now pitted and he's finally released Carlos Sainz, so we're going to have him on the back of us anytime soon. You got Zhou has caught up to the back of Ocon and Norris, so I don't know how that's going to play out because they still got a ways to go on those tyres, so they're probably going to start just enough to back Zhou into Russell and Vettel. So that could be a thing. Hamilton on his own in 5th. And Bottas is still 1.5 behind Gasly. Did a stellar job there to get past him. So at the moment,
That's it.
boring medium part of the race. Oh, Vettel just gained. Where did Vettel do that? Did he do what Gasly did, all of his own accord?
Play there. They've moved
I didn't completely miss that. Yeah, Vettel got alongside Russell up the hill and into Casino Square. Got the line, and yeah, exactly the same move that Gasly pulled off. So Sebastian, realising the threat behind the Ferrari, has taken back that position from Russell all of his own accord up into P10, but we still got, that's going to change into P8 because obviously Norris and Ocon have still got a pit, and Norris has got Zhou all over the back of him. So if Norris and Ocon can just keep doing what they're doing, holding up Zhou, that's going to work out a treat for us. And then Gasly is slowly pulling away from Bottas. 1.6 now the gap from 1.5, now 1.7. So Gasly is doing what he needs to do for that P4 spot. 16 seconds behind Perez, who in turn is 3 seconds behind Leclerc. And Leclerc has dropped away from Verstappen. So Verstappen, on Leclerc's home turf, is going to stamp out his authority unless anything happens. There's no forecast for rain. It's just overcast for the rest of the race. So I'm going to cut away now because this is going to be the boring middle part of the race. And I will come back to you guys when something of interest happens or near the end of the race. Right, we've just come back a few laps later, and Norris and Ocon did their bit. They slowed up Zhou a little bit, and now Norris is really going to make this unnecessarily difficult because now, oh, come on, Lando! Why on earth would you do that? Lando held up Vettel to the point where now Russell is attacking us, so now I'm having to do this just to protect ourselves, and it hasn't worked. Unbelievable, Lando. Why would you do that? Why on earth would you do that? And now Zhou's gotten ahead of Ocon and is going to pull away from us again. I cannot deal with Lando Norris. What an absolute joke. What an absolute joke of a driver that was. Why would you do that? Just come back, Lando's done the exact same thing again! He's blocked us off and allowed Sainz through! What is this? And finally, after 3 laps in the same manoeuvre that Lando has been doing to block us off, we have finally gotten past him.
Looks like Aston Martin have just position.
Unnecessary effort that has allowed both Sainz and Russell to get away from us. I'm not going to... I had to cut away quite a bit of watching this because I got so angry at Lando. He blocked us off in the exact same fashion to allow Sainz to get through us as well, which was, there was absolutely no call for it. Absolutely none. In other news, Gasly has made a 4.4 second gap to Bottas, so I'm content to just leave him to do his thing. But now... Fortunately, Ocon's held up Sainz just enough for us to catch back up again, so that's something, I suppose, but... Yeah, I'm just gonna skip through and take a moment to cool off, guys, because that whole segment of what Norris did to Sebastian has really riled me up. Right, 20 laps to the end of the race, and unfortunately I have got Bottas now bearing down on the back of Gasly, because wouldn't you know it, Esteban Ocon came out of the pits directly behind Gasly, and because he was on soft tyres, just started harassing him, and this has allowed Bottas to get within range. This game, I swear, is just something else on... It's just something else sometimes. So now here comes Bottas. A little bit too far back, so Gasly's going to hold out just fine, but... unnecessary hassle that I need. So... Unfortunately, Bottas's tyre wear is a lot better than us as well, as you can see, 65 to 53. So, and how far is Hamilton behind? He's 13 seconds. So, the way this is going, P5 is going to be the most realistic for Gasly at the moment. And then Vettel, he's probably going to get the same thing from Alonso as well, back in P10. So, yeah, it's going to be a bit of a trek to the line, guys. We'll pass on and see how things go, but it's not looking promising for Sebastian or Pierre at this moment. Unfortunately, it was an inevitability that was coming. Bottas has been trying it for the last 5 or 6 laps, and finally it has pulled it off. Unfortunately, we just didn't have the tyres. We just didn't have the tyres for it, unfortunately. As you can see, Gasly's already dropped out of DRS range as well. Yeah, unfortunately, he just didn't have the tyres for it. And Sebastian, he should be okay, but he's still got Alonso bearing down on him. So it's going to be fine margins to the line for both guys. Gasly is still comfortably ahead of Hamilton, so yeah, P5 was about the best I could expect for Pierre. So I just need to do what I need to do to get Alonso over the line. And then Sebastian has only got he's got 1 lap less extra, one lap less, I should say, sorry, than Gasly, because he's already been lapped.
2 to go.
So it's only going to be 77 laps for Sebastian. It's lap 77 now, but there you go. Verstappen starts the last lap. And Gasly is, yeah, he's still in the lead lap. So next lap round for Gasly will be the last lap. Hamilton is closing on him at a rate of knots, but he should be okay. If need to, I could just put him on deploy for the last lap to make sure he makes it. Meanwhile, Sebastian has got Alonso bearing down on him. So now, this is Sebastian's last lap, so I'm going to stick with him until the end. And make sure he gets the line ahead of the eyebrows. And now Alonso had a look. He had a look going into Casino Square around the outside. But now, it's just harvest through this section.
Last lap now.
As Gasly now starts his last lap with Hamilton just under 10 seconds ahead. Verstappen has won the Monaco Grand Prix. So after two difficult races, he bounces back with his 5th win of the season, I believe that is. So there's your top 3. It has all been rounded out. Sainz is now a lap down. So we're just now waiting. Hamilton's the last car on the lead lap, so now it's just a case of making sure Vettel gets to the line. I'm going to deploy it out of the final corner, all the way to the line, and he will just hang on to P10, so it'll be another double points finish.
Strategy was good.
Brilliant.
So another P10 for Vettel. Should have been P8 after what happened to him, but you can't win them all. As Gasly will now come out the final corner for another solid P5. Could have been P4, but unfortunately he didn't have the tyre wear for it. You can see the gap that Bottas pulled on him.
It would be P1, wait 5 seconds, and then P0.
6.4 gap that Bottas pulled on him. Unfortunately, that's how bad the tyres were. So there we have it.
Well, this weekend,
Gasly acting a little bit disappointed with the P5. I mean, understandable, it could have been P4, but still, it's another double points finish for the team. As Verstappen wins the Monaco Grand Prix with Leclerc second, Perez rounds out the podium, Bottas, Gasly, Hamilton, Sainz, Zhou, Russell and Vettel round out the top 10. Should have been 8th, should have been up in P8, Vettel, should have been up in P8 if it weren't for this. Oh, so many things I want to say about you, Lando. So many things I want to say about you, the way you drove today. But, so let's go to the driver's stand. It's fourth win of the season, sorry, for Verstappen. So he pulls a 9-point gap to Leclerc in the championship. Perez, 5 podiums in 7 races, very consistent, but just hasn't got the pace of his teammate. Red Bull hierarchy, what do you expect? All hail Verstappen. And then Sainz in P4 loses a little bit of ground to Hamilton, 2 points he lost there. But more crucially, Gasly actually gained ground on Hamilton, so he's now only 5 points behind Lewis in the championship. Meanwhile, Zhou, unfortunately with his 8th place, pulls away from Sebastian by 3 points. Should have been the other way round. Should have been the other way round, in all honesty. But what can we do at this moment in time? And then in the constructors, Alfa Romeo move up to P5 ahead of Alpine. They only gain 1 point on us though, so we still hold a solid 4th at the moment in the championship, ahead of Alfa Romeo and Alpine. Alpha Tauri still not making too many moves at this moment in time. And then McLaren drop behind them to 8th. And then Haas and Williams round that out. So at the moment, we have a development point actually for Sebastian. So that's an added bonus. We got both cars up the standings. So we did really well. We made all the objectives we set for ourselves. So next round is going to be Baku. That may be a bit more difficult for us considering our car. But for now, everything we're in a solid position. So hopefully we'll be able to maintain our position in the constructors at the least. For now though, guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Do feel free to leave a like and a comment. It really helps with your feedback and the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss another video. I'm David Clayton of KZR Racing, and we'll see you next time for round number 8 of Season 2 at Baku. Goodbye.